Hi everybody, I wanted to reset assignment 6 because I think that the logic of having a hub was lost on several of you. So I'm going to go ahead and just run this. This is the code you were given, and if you recall, the intention was to have all fields validate above that which the user focuses in on. So I've made a form.html here with the code that was given. And the way we test this, of course, is the expected behavior is we hit this on focus, and then everything up top should work all the way down. Now, I did this because I had, we have all these functions set up. So this is what you were given. And basically, I logged location, and I looked at the type of the location. And this is the freedom I want you guys to have. I want you to see when we console.log something, what happens. So console.log, we've got this right here, and we've got the location there. So location type text area. So right now, if the text area is hit, we know we have our radio buttons, checkboxes. Now all we need is to create our full name and which is our validation for email and validation for phone. So I'm going to do just copy and paste right here. And we'll do, instead of full name here, we'll do email. Okay. And the document get element by ID error name would need to be, what do we have for email here? We have error email. So we need to change some things, but the point of this is to get, see, I have an extra span tag there, it looks like. And this is the phone, so I would have ID equals error phone. So I'm not caring about the dynamic element of this, I'm caring about the user experience part of it. That's sort of the point of it. So let's see, I have span ID check radio, span ID check message. Those are all complete. But now I've got my email and phone. So basically, we'll do error underscore email. And this is just a base level thing. So if you have a separate function for each of these areas, you can validate those areas and give a, figure out what got selected to generate those things. So otherwise we'll do this. Now we'll do phone. I believe the phone section had, we'll add an ID phone here. We could also do if we'll do just phone. But the types here are very unique. I could do if input type equals tel, if it equals email, whatever it's going to be. I can work with that. So now that we have that done, let's do the phone. So validate phone. We'll check the ID phone for its value. Then we'll call it error phone. Please enter your phone number. So, and we'll do phone here. Okay, and this will be error phone. So as long as the HTML and these singular functions that validate each section are good, we can run and go ahead and talk about this. So if it's a text area, we need to do everything above. Text area is this guy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now we can write another condition. We could say something like, okay, if this is select-1, then what's above select-1? We've got our hobbies, our gender, our phone, and our email. So we don't need the show, this thing right here, which is, I'm going to actually, I'll put show next to it because I think I have year in class. So the drop down, I don't think we did yet, so we'll have to do that as well. But our drop down is year in school, so I will put something like year in school. There we go. And then we'll have a span ID like this, which is check year, something like that, So that's kind of how it works, but now we need to write a function that validates the year in school. So we'll just copy and paste the phone here. And I'm going to do validate year in school. So these are all above each other. If you notice, they go in order. So hobbies, actually hobbies needs to be above year in school, because I do want to be organized. So there's the validate hobbies, validate year in school. So validate year is there, and we would find inside that year, it would be, we can do ID equals year, that's fine. And it would be that value. So year, and we'll do error year. Please select your year in school. Okay, so now the error year I still need to fix. So this is called check year. I'll call it year in school, or error year. You try to make, yeah, you see right here, error year. You try to make these things make as much sense and be as consistent as possible. Like the focus on the select, there's no reason for it because it's a drop-down. But now we've got these functions, right? So I can do something like text area, whoops, validate year. Okay, and hopefully, you know, I can run a quick test now and do something like this. And right now I have read property of null on form 46, so that's not an issue. I know the lines and the problems that I'm having. So line 46 is document get element by ID email, and so we need to get that element by ID email, and you see there is none. So all I have to do is just hit each error message, read it, and fix it. So now I can do this, and now I get inner text of null based on line 82. So this is actually, it's coding it for me, basically. So see this line 82? Get element by ID check radio inner text equals message. Well, check radio needs to be the span outside the radio buttons. So there's my check radio, so that we can actually hit this, and you can see check radio inner text equals message, and our error cannot set property inner text of null at validate gender. So we got to do check radio. Where are we, buddy? Validate radio. There's validate gender. So it's whatever this is the problem for it. And if it's null, that means there's an issue with the check radio HTML, which I see right there, but I'm still not worried about it too much. Cannot set property. This is the validate gender. So there's definitely something wrong with the gender issue right here. And we can make all these spans red at the end. I'm going to pause this just for a second and come back to it. So, here's the problem. I never closed my initial span tag on the error phone, which makes all the sense in the world. Now I have this. So what I don't have yet, yeah, see I have this please select because there's a break tag, but now I've got all of these things with the text field. So before I forget, I'm going to go back into my drop-down, and I do not want to have that break tag there. I want it to be right next to the drop-down. So I'm going to add another style at the top so we get consistency here, and I'm just going to make the spans color red. Span color, we'll just do a hex because I like hexes. So now we can do this and click this. Now we're getting good. So I'm going to add the break tag after the text area. So now we've got a good concept of what this location thing is, and everything's working. Okay, so if all the functions are working here, all I got to do is add to my conditions up top. So like if it's select one, I've got validate year. I don't need to validate the year in this case because the user hasn't gotten there. So if the location type is this, granted there's no focus, you'll see we have, see that? We've got to focus on that. So that's working now. So what about the radio, the check group? Okay, if location type equals checkboxes, then we should validate the gender. So let's try it. We're going to do this, and we're going to do on click of that, and just make sure that the we have no errors. So what I'm going to do is make sure that there's an on click event on each of those. So I'm going to do on click, validate this, on click, validate this. So what I'm thinking is it's going to be checkbox, not checkboxes. And that's just on me because nothing happened. So I'm just going to do this, and we'll hit refresh and hit check, and now it works. So that's our form. Now we can do, okay, if location type is a radio, well, we're going to hit refresh again, and we're going to go click on these things, and look, they all work. Okay. Now the top three are all of the same type. Okay, so if we do type, we got to make sure that the ID is what we look for here. So if location type ID, because think about it, if the type, all three are the same, you're looking at, if someone clicks full name, it's going to validate email and phone. So we've got to do this one by ID. So I'm going to say if location ID is phone, let's validate the name and the email. Cool, so I'll do this, and I get nothing, so let's see what my ID is. So inside here, I have input type phone. Oh, I could do input type equals TEL. Let's just do that, because that's a good idea right there. So if location type equals, type equals TEL, then I can just do those above. So let's try it. Now I got to do on focus on here and make sure that we're validating this on the phone. So yeah, see, we have on blur validating this. Let's do on focus. On focus. So that's really what I was kind of trying to teach here. Validate this, and the placeholder equals the phone. So now we've got the phone. So the logic is you hit this, and now that works. So let's do on focus validate this on the email, and that'll be the last one. So on click, on focus validate this, and then if this is equal to email, I'm just going to validate the name. So equals name. Okay, so I'm going to hit refresh, and we're going to hit that, and once I hit this, it should look above, but let's make sure that the focus is hit. Now with email, you see how it goes to my email. That's a Chrome setting, so it may impact our ability to do this, but if it's, oh, email, excuse me, because that wasn't, it was email. So hit refresh, refresh, email. There you go. So I'm going to do, I'm going to kill off the validate email with email because it's on focus, and that is our hub. So we're going to do this, phone, good, and it focuses on the email. That's why, because I'm clicking that. If I do email, it focuses on the phone. If I do this, it focuses that. If I do this, so we've got this thing covered now. Anyway, that's the assignment, and it's about reducing our workload based on what we know.